I remember getting my receipt back from Solana and seeing that I had $0 left in my bank account. I kind of had an internal freak out because I realized I only had a little bit of meal swipes left, and I still had to pay extra for my Solana through my own money. And it was just a salad, that's all that I was getting. All I had left was to rely on these sodium-packed noodle packets that I had in my dorm. And that made me feel absolutely awful. My stomach was hurting. I did not have energy, especially during finals week. I was feeling awful and just didn't have any motivation to study, get out of bed, or anything. So I don't know. So I don't know how it makes sense that students already pay tuition. We pay for parking. We pay for our everyday essentials. We pay housing, and we still have to pay a huge amount of money just to be able to dine on campus. I will begin my speech with speaking about how expensive these meal plans are, and then I will move on to solutions. Now that I have talked about my points, I will speak about how these meal plans are said to be helping us, but instead they are actually doing us more bad when it comes to value-wise. When we're in college, it is our first time being on our own, and some of us haven't even started careers. In fact, the majority of us haven't even started our careers. So either we're financially independent, barely beginning being financially independent, or we just do not have a lot of money to be using on food all the time and eating out. An average meal plan costs a minimum of 1.5K, which is a lot of money that a lot of us can just put to the side, right? Tara Garcia Matthews actually speaks about how students actually spend an average of $18.45 a day with that meal plan. And an average American only spends an average of $11 a day on their meals. Meaning that us, college students who do not even have our careers, are spending 70% more than the average American who may actually have a career. Now, where is our money going towards exactly? Because as my peer said, it is not going towards the quality and variety of food. Bill Fay actually speaks about how our meal plans have increased over the past 10 years, and only $600 of our food, if you were to use every single meal swipe, you're only eating $600 worth of food. And he also speaks about how our money that we're paying for our meals are actually going towards making our dining hall more aesthetically pleasing, which is something that is not a necessity. I've had multiple friends run out of dining dollars so far from the end of the year, which is horrible because they are lacking nutrition and relying on others for guest swipes. Now that I have talked about the issue, I'm going to move into some solutions that can be incorporated. So cheap does not always mean lower quality. An article that I found from Palacio talked about how making food from scratch is actually cheaper, and so our dining halls could start making more food from scratch instead. And also, when I think about getting breakfast in the dining halls, I think about those powdered eggs that would give me the most horrible stomach aches and they were just awful. So in another article by Volkovic, she speaks about how actually having fresh eggs is a cheaper alternative, and it's actually more nutritious. Another solution could be having smaller meal plans. So a lot of the students who live off campus often go on campus because of their classes there, and for convenience reasons, they need to eat on campus. So having smaller meal plans that are more affordable and that are catered to them would also be another solution. Also, back to one of my previous points, I spoke about how our money is going towards making these places look more aesthetically pleasing. So a way that we could fix that is to, instead of using our money for that, is making these kitchens look these dorm kitchens look a lot better and have better utilities, so students don't have to spend as much money going out to eat. So, in conclusion, now what can our audience do to help with this issue? In conclusion, we need to start using our money towards either the faculty to start using our money more towards having better kitchen utensils, and then even making smaller meal plans and having our food made from scratch. If we solve this issue, a lot of other students in future generations won't be stuck eating ramen noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner during finals like I did. There is power in numbers, so if us Aggies want, we should work together to provide better services for future generations to come. Overall, Texas A&M needs to be proactive when it comes to these changes, so they won't be letting their students down anymore, and because they need to meet the needs of students with healthier options that are more allergy-friendly, diet restrictions, and are overall affordable. This is important because many students rely on dining halls, and we need to have a healthy diet in order to succeed in our classes, and a lot of us have diet restrictions, so that often prevents us. Overall, I ask you guys to reach out to faculty and make your voices heard.